Toronto. It's Good Morning, Canada. It has been several months now since our beloved Queen has died. All Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife. We want privacy! We want privacy! Thanks for having us on the show. It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
I would say the gloss may be coming off the Sussexes. Let's talk to Rupert Bell, Talk Radio's royal correspondent. Well, Rupert, I mean, I think that's rather good, isn't it?
It doesn't hold back, does it? Subtlety is not South Park's strong point. They go for the jugular, and they clearly have there. They clearly see. They have a very firm view of what they think of Meghan and Harry. They're the creators of the programme. And it is a view shared by many.
And you've got to be able to take criticism. I mean, you can't be a global Hollywood celebrity like Meghan Markle is and get upset about a cartoon.
Yeah, look, it diminishes what little sympathy there is left for Meghan Markle by doing this. But
do you still think there's little sympathy even after the book and the documentary?
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry just fired their entire communications team in one sweeping move. No one was spared. Assistants, spokespeople, media advisors, social managers, even senior aides. All of them were let go in a matter of hours. It was not some quiet restructuring or a planned exit. It was an emergency reaction, and the trigger was not a scandal or leaked recording. It was an episode of South Park. The cartoon aired across millions of homes, and it did not hold back. Meghan and Harry were portrayed as the Prince and Princess of Canada, shouting for privacy while going on talk shows and waving at crowds. They held signs that read, "Stop looking at us," while marching through cities demanding attention. It was sarcastic, brutal, and painfully accurate. The satire cut deep, and the internet ran with it.
But I will say, I'm sure you've probably noticed that a certain show, Suits, has become a phenomenon yet again on Netflix. 45 billion minutes have been watched. 45 billion as of this week. We just found out 24 minutes ago that is the number. But literally, who's counting? What do you think is behind this renewed love for the show? Why has it become such a phenomenon again?
I have no idea. It was great to work on.
Meghan's response behind closed doors was swift and cold. There was no meeting to debrief, no attempt to regroup. She blamed her entire team for failing to protect her image, and instead of letting the fire die out, she set off another one. What started as a cartoon quickly became a crisis, and her own staff paid the price. The second episode of South Park's 26th season aired, and it struck right where it hurt the most. Titled The Worldwide Privacy Tour, it mocked the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in a way that felt direct and personal. According to insiders, Meghan's reaction was immediate. She didn't just take offense, she took it as a full-blown attack. In the episode, the animated couple is introduced as the Prince and Princess of Canada. They travel around holding up signs that say, "Stop looking at us," and "We want our privacy," even as they appear on talk shows, wave at crowds, and bang drums to announce their presence. It was not subtle. The parody pointed at the contradiction that has followed Meghan and Harry for years. The cartoon version of Meghan comes across as controlling and completely obsessed with her public image. She drags the confused Harry character through a whirlwind of interviews, book signings, and staged appearances, all while shouting that the media should leave her alone. South Park took aim at everything. Meghan's podcast, Harry's book, even a fake autobiography called Waaagh, which was filled with exaggerated sob stories and complaints. It was satire, but it cut close to the truth, and millions saw it.
Hey.
Did you know it's cold in there?
Yeah.
Must be an American thing.
It's not.
But wait, watch this. Amazing, right? This might be the smallest palace I've ever been in.
An apartment, so.
Yes, An apartment palace, I know that.
Okay, what are you doing?
You know, relaxing.
When that episode aired, it did not just get people talking. It exploded. The mockery landed fast, loud, and everywhere. Meghan's team tried to act unbothered. A few aides even suggested letting it pass quietly. But that calm did not last long. According to multiple sources inside Montecito, the Duchess was already seething the moment the first meme reached her phone. She was not amused. She was furious. Social media moved faster than anyone expected. Clips of the cartoon couple chanting, "We want privacy," while holding megaphones started showing up on every platform. TikTok creators stitched it with real-life footage of Meghan and Harry's interviews. YouTube compilations popped up within hours. Instagram Reels used it as audio for reaction videos. Some users even edited real photos of the couple into the South Park animation itself. It stopped being a joke and became a global punchline overnight. A junior aide, reportedly monitoring viral tags, sent one urgent message into the crisis Slack. No emojis, no context, just one sentence. The cartoon landed. That was the moment it all shifted. Meghan, fresh off a private flight back from a brand retreat in New York, locked herself in her executive suite. Staff said she barely spoke. When she did, it was only one word: fix. Inside the estate, everything fell apart at once. Slack threads spun into chaos. Phones started ringing non-stop. Legal teams were looped in before sunrise. PR assistants scrambled to draft statements. Social leads drafted takedown requests. But everyone knew the truth. This was not something they could erase. Lawyers broke the news quickly. Satire is fully protected in the United States. The cartoon was legal. It was untouchable. Meghan listened, then stared at her team and asked the question no one wanted to answer. So we cannot control this. No one responded. That silence gave her the answer.
Hi, Meghan. Where are you, Meghan? Hi, Meghan, right there. Meghan, over here, please. Wow. Meghan. And ladies together. Oh, one stop.
Can we get all the smiles in one day? There it is. Thank you, cute. Oh
my goodness, the work that they do at Children's Hospital LA is otherworldly. And I think from my standpoint as a mother,
the firings began that same morning. These were not formal reviews or polite departures. They were swift and final exits. 6 senior aides were locked out of their computers before lunch. 2 spokespersons were notified through auto-generated HR messages. The social media manager was removed from all platforms and sent home with a non-disclosure agreement so thick it could pass for a legal textbook. Devices were seized at the door. Laptops were disabled. Slack accounts vanished in real time. Meghan sent one final message to the team before everything went silent. It read, "Return all devices to security by noon. Thanks." By midday, the compound looked like the final day of a failed startup. Black SUVs idled outside the gates. Staff members walked out carrying boxes with branded mugs, notebooks, and rolled-up vision boards. One aide dropped a folder filled with half-written press releases. Another was seen arguing with security because she had been locked out of her car before she could delete personal files from her work tablet. It was cruel and calculated. Meghan did not simply fire people. She erased them. Interns received no explanations. Contractors were informed that their services were no longer required. One executive aide only discovered she had been terminated when her keycard failed at the front gate.
What's interesting to me is this kind of stealth social media launch she's doing. No one made, these are not purchases, these are gifted influencer packages that some of her contacts received throughout the city of Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. And what is the ultimate objective when if I go to AmericanRivieraOrchard.com right now today, I cannot purchase this. I can't purchase this product.
And yet, during the purge, new people were already arriving. Delivery vans from Scoops Media pulled into the driveway before the last boxes had even been sealed. This boutique public relations firm is known for its talent in viral crisis management. They have transformed shampoo controversies into empowerment narratives. They once helped a disgraced pop star rebrand as a mental health spokesperson in less than 2 weeks. Their motto is direct. If you cannot kill the meme, turn it into your brand. Scoops pitched Meghan a bold plan. The first phase was to embrace the satire completely. Post reels of cartoon jam jars wearing tiaras while singing "Respect Our Recipe." Add fair use stamps to the South Park footage. Flood the internet with remixable content until the algorithm buries the original clip. The second phase involved launching a limited Jam Not Shame bundle, with each jar featuring a QR code that links to a maternal health charity. Meghan's face would be printed on the label in a polished, unbothered style. The final phase was a YouTube live event titled "Let's Laugh About It," where influencers would watch the South Park episode and rate how close it came to reality. Everything would be controlled, monetized, and turned into content. Meghan reportedly loved it. She smiled through the entire pitch. But not everyone in the room was sold. One senior advisor warned that the jam jars cheapen the product. That pairing charity with self-pity might look desperate. The Scoops strategist brushed it off. Luxury is just a vibe. Say it enough times and it becomes real.
I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. Surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them.
What? This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
It's magic!
I'm gonna share some little tips and tricks. I see what color I gravitate to.
Meanwhile, Netflix was watching the meltdown unfold. An emergency sync call was scheduled. What was supposed to be a 30-minute check-in turned into a 2-hour session of damage control. The first slide? A chart titled "Brand Sentiment Deviation." The red line looked like a roller coaster in freefall. Executives debated whether the upcoming episodes of With Love, Meghan should be delayed. One producer asked if they could digitally blur all jam jars until the memes passed. Marketing leads feared that satire would bleed into real scenes, making serious content unwatchable. One message hit the room like a bomb. A quiet email sent to top brass with a single question. Is this the moment we pause deliverables?
Was the move about getting away from the UK press, because the press is, is everywhere, or was the move because you weren't getting enough support from the firm?
It was both.
Both.
I needed to do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's, and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was headed.
Inside Montecito, routines collapsed. Security doubled patrols. Paparazzi drones hovered over the citrus trees. The chef skipped his usual market run after spotting a long lens by the front wall. The yoga instructor rescheduled to midnight to avoid cameras. Harry stopped his usual surf sessions. Staff said he now paces the garden wearing headphones, talking to no one, eyes on the horizon. One comms assistant described the atmosphere as living inside a siege. Alarms were set to monitor South Park reruns. Social media dashboards refreshed every 10 minutes. A sticky note was taped to the command center whiteboard. It read, "DEFCON Trending." Inside the executive wing, Meghan stayed glued to her phone, scrolling through TikTok, watching as the memes kept evolving.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
You hear that? That is the sound of hearts breaking all around the world.
She's becoming a royal rock star.
And then
everything changed. There's a hierarchy of the family. You know, there's leaking, but there's also planting of stories.
And the industry is responding. Meghan and Harry are now on a list no one wants to be on. The volatility list. Agents are demanding hazard pay. Endorsers are pausing deals. One lifestyle brand quietly pulled their pre-approved ad campaign. A wellness company asked to return product stock unless sentiment improves. Meghan is watching a slow financial bleed. And while her team scrambles to remix mockery into marketing, the royals across the ocean remain silent. Buckingham Palace refuses to comment. But insiders say they are quietly relieved. Every scandal in Montecito is one less headline about Charles. One fewer update about Andrew. One more distraction that helps them breathe. Now Meghan stands at the edge of a moment she cannot control. The cartoon was not just a joke. It was a cultural gut punch. And it landed. The public laughed. Hollywood flinched. And her staff ran. What happens next? That is the real question. Will she spin this into a redemption arc? Will she fall deeper into the PR spiral? Or will she rebrand again, this time as the celebrity who could not take a joke? Tap that like button if you think satire is fair game. Subscribe right now so you do not miss the next meltdown. Also, drop a comment below and tell us, should Meghan clap back or finally log off? The memes are not stopping. The headlines are just getting messier. And in Montecito, even cartoons leave scars. Stick around. We are just getting started.